Hey everybody, this is a Longhorn Confidential for Tuesday, November 26th. I'm Danny Davis with the Austin American-Statesman. I'm joined today by the whole group. We must have some big game to talk about or something like that. But Cedric Golden, Thomas Jones, David Eckert. Um, so we're finally here after 13 years, and I counted it up early this week, 4,755 days. Texas and Texas A&M are finally going to play some football. First game since 2011. Texas fans, you know exactly what happened. Texas A&M fans, you know exactly what happened too. But 6:30 on Saturday over at Kyle Field. ABC will have the game if you are watching from Austin. But if you're at Kyle Field, you're going to see two teams fighting for a spot in the SEC championship game where Georgia will await. Said you are the only one who on this panel who's covered a Texas A&M game. I've been there for a couple baseball games, and I know what it is for baseball. I had to imagine the scope for football is just a little bit bigger. But when we head to College Station on Saturday, what are we walking into? What are these players walking into? What do you expect this atmosphere to be like on Saturday?
Well, first of all, when we walk from lot 40 through the tailgate, the people are always so friendly. They're just friendly down there, and you'll experience that. It's very low key, but once the game starts, man, it's going to be raucous. It's just a perpetual dull roar that never goes away. 105,000 people weren't waving white towels in unison. And I can't wait to see you guys' reaction when they start singing the Aggie War Hymn and then they start swaying, and you can literally feel the stadium moving. It is just some kind of experience that you will never, ever forget. I'm more excited for you guys than I am for myself. I've seen quite a few of these, but it's going to be wonderful.
I actually got to experience an A&M game in 2007. I got to see them whip up on Montana State, which was a pleasure for me. Brought Montana State in for a body bag game, but a lot of people give a lot of Texas fans kind of like to stick their noses up and give the Aggies a lot of crap for just kind of their traditions. And let's be honest, some of it is weird, but I like weird. I like what they do in College Station. I like the traditions and just the swaying and how even the bubbles in baseball. I know there's some purists who absolutely hated that stuff, but I love how much they love the Aggies and love their traditions. Not all their traditions if you walk around on campus, but at least at the athletic events, I think that stuff is really cool. And I'm looking forward to seeing 102,000. It's going to be more that they stuff in there. However many people they stuff in Kyle Field, there's going to be an electric and great atmosphere this weekend. But let's talk about the game. Texas, at some point this evening, they're going to release a new college football playoff rankings. Texas will still be third unless the committee decides to get wild on us, but 10-1, 6-1 in conference play. David, we will start with you. Actually, no, we're going to start with Thomas. We're going to save the next question for David to go first. Thomas, Texas wins this game if it does what?
Avoid the mistakes. I think Texas has a personnel edge, especially with the Texas offense against the Aggie defense. If you don't turn the ball over two or three times or make a big special teams mistake, I think Texas will win. I think that's the. I think A&M would have to win the turnover battle by at least two, or get a big special teams play to win this game. And it could happen, but I think Texas, if they play clean football, I think they'll be okay.
So that same question to you. If Texas wins this game, it's because like
They protect Quinn Ewers. If they protect Quinn Ewers, they can overcome other mistakes. But if the offensive line plays like it did against Georgia, and Nick Scouton and those other guys get after Quinn Ewers, who's not a good mover, Texas can have some problems. And speeding up the clock in Quinn's head is the key to shutting down this offense. But if they protect, Quinn Ewers will be able to make plays downfield against a questionable secondary that was lit up in its last game. So with the deep ball. So that's the biggest issue. Thomas hit it on the head, eliminate mistakes. But if Quinn Ewers is upright and throwing the ball downfield, I think everything else falls into place and there won't be as many chances for errors from the Longhorns.
David, Texas wins this game It's because fill in the
It's
blank.
good. Yeah, it's because they're good in the red zone, on both ends of the ball. If you look at statistically, Texas A&M has actually been outgained in 6 of its 8 games against power conference opponents. But they've been really good in the parts of the field where it really matters, like the red zone. They've been pretty good on third down, especially on offense. Their red zone touchdown percentage is top 15 in the country. So I think if Texas can match or better what Texas A&M does in the red zone, um, its athletes will kind of do the rest.
I'm gonna go with I expect this game to be close. I think Texas wins this game if they do what they did against Kentucky and they do what they did against Arkansas, and that's close the game in the fourth quarter. Both those games, they had a very impressive drive to seal the game. Against Kentucky, it was something like 15 plays, 80 some yards, took over 8 minutes of the clock, nothing but runs. Quintravian Wisner took most of the carries. Jaden Blue got a couple snaps as well. They just marched down the field, scored a touchdown. That game was over. Against Arkansas, they didn't score, but they killed the rest of the clock, just drove it down into Arkansas territory. If they needed to, they would have eventually scored. And so those are two. Steve called that a culture drive against Kentucky, and that's what you need to do in these games, these close games in SEC play. You need to be able to run it down the opposing team's throat and kill clock. If Texas can do that with a lead late in the game, you won't need to Justin Tucker because you're going to be able to just kill the rest of the clock and just end the game that way. On the flip side, Texas A&M, they're 8-3, 5-2 in SEC play. They are kind of fighting for their playoff light. They need to win on Saturday. They probably need to win the SEC championship game to get in. So I don't want to give away too much, but one person on this panel actually thinks the Aggies are going to win this game, and so we're gonna start with him. David, if the Aggies win this game, it is because blank.
It's because Texas gets a diminished version of Quinn Ewers health wise, and their play calling attempts to shield that. I mean, if you look at the way Texas played offense in the second half against Kentucky, after Quinn Ewers got hurt, that was not that ain't gonna work against the Texas A&M. You can get away with that type of offense, very conservative, very we're just going to lean on you and see where that takes us. You can get away with that against the Kentuckys of the world who aren't going to score points, especially on the road. I don't think you can do that on the road against Texas A&M. You're going to have to hit some big plays. You're going to have to get the ball in the hands of your really good playmakers at receiver. And so I just wonder if that combination that we were talking about, that really good Aggies pass rush, when Ewers' ankle, we don't know where that's at, whether that's 100%. I think that's a very dangerous combination for Texas in this game.
Said, how does A&M win this game? If they win this game, it's because of blank.
Marcel Reed, he goes nuts. Texas isn't great against dual threat quarterbacks. We saw a little bit of Diego Pavia against Vanderbilt. This guy is a lot faster than Diego. He's a lot faster. We saw a little bit of Taylor Green against Arkansas. This guy's faster than Taylor Green. He gets loose. The Horns can have some problems. He came in like a whirlwind against LSU. And now, granted, LSU didn't prepare for Marcel Reed. And maybe they would have been better had they prepared for him. But I think if he can get loose in that secondary and run for over 100 yards, that will give the Texas defense something extra to think about. And a good running quarterback all of a sudden puts a linebacker or a blitzing safety. Maybe a safety has to come down into that box, and that can open up some other issues. That can open up some other throwing lanes for Marcel. He's only 1-2 as a starter since he took over, but he's easily the most dangerous dual threat that they will have faced. He'll have to be Vince Young good for a Texas team that doesn't make any mistakes to lose this game.
Yeah, I think plain and simple, Texas A&M doesn't have a chance unless they figure out what's been wrong on defense in the month of November. They give up 44 to South Carolina, give up 41 to Auburn, 43 to Auburn. And yes, that game was 4 overtimes, but 31 in regulation. That just plain and simple is not going to cut against Texas because Texas is not giving up 31 points with the way that defense is playing. So this team is going to be facing a talented Texas offense, regardless how limited Quinn Ewers may be. This is a talented. There is some talent on Texas's offense. I think it's more talented than what they saw at South Carolina, more talented than what they saw in Auburn. So if they don't figure out what's been wrong on defense this month of November, they've only beat one non-conference New Mexico State team this month. I I think Texas is gonna, not have that big of a problem putting this game away. So I would say if the Aggies are gonna win, it's because they played really well on defense and had a really good defensive game plan for this Texas team. Thomas, if the Aggies win, it's because of blank.
Man, I'm going to give Mike Elko, the Aggies first year coach, credit. Offensively, they really control the ball. And even when they lost Le'Veon Moss, was a dynamic running back. He got hurt, I think first game in November. They've kind of leaned on Amari Daniels and the legs of Marcel Reed. I mean, they rank third in the SEC in time of possession. The Aggies keep it over 32 minutes of game.
That's a lot.
And it is. And the recipe for an upset when the other team has better talent is you shorten the game, you limit possessions. If the Aggies can do that, make the game come down to special teams, because we all know Texas hasn't been great on special teams. And Bert Auburn has kind of been erratic a little bit, Texas kicker. If the Aggies can shorten that game, get it down to one possession in the fourth, that's a recipe for an upset, recipe for disaster for Texas.
Like I said, this game 7 or 6:30 p.m. on Saturday. I think it'll probably be the biggest game TV wise that the Longhorns have played this season, although they played on some pretty big stages with Michigan, obviously, and Oklahoma. But that should be a lot of fun to watch. But that's not the most important thing this week. The most important thing, Thanksgiving. Thursday, there's it's a couple of big guys on this panel. David, you don't qualify for this, but I'm sure you like to eat. What is the
He's tall. He's
what is
tall though.
what is the Thanksgiving meal of choice? We'll start with TJ and work our way around.
Oh man, shoot, you can't go wrong, man. Give me seconds. You know what I particularly like? It's pie. And I like extra pie because the whole Thanksgiving weekend, I like pie for breakfast with my coffee. Like that Friday morning after Thanksgiving,
Nice,
Saturday,
nice.
Sunday. Man, give me a piece of pecan, pumpkin, apple, blueberry, it don't matter. Buttermilk. Give me some pie and coffee, man.
Said, what are we doing at the Golden House? I know you'll be up in Thailand this week. What's being served?
Well, it's the second Thanksgiving without my mom, so and the food is gonna be fine, but it ain't Gene Golden fine. That's she was another level with the dressing. Um, I'm gonna enjoy some dressing, some turkey, some Greenberg turkey, some smoked turkey from Tyler. That's a brand that you can get in Austin at Central Market. Free plug. Cranberry sauce. Not a big dessert guy for Thanksgiving. I don't eat pie at all, not at all. But the turkey, the dressing, the potato salad. Got to do the potato salad and a little piece of ham and a huge jug of sweet tea. That's gonna do it for me, and I'm gonna be a happy man. And the only thing better than Thanksgiving dinner is leftovers on Friday. It hits better the second day. For some reason, you take it out of the fridge and warm it up, and it's better than it was the day before. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And along with being with my family, that's the most wonderful part of the holiday for me.
All right, we heard from two Texas boys. David, how does what's going on in the Northeast with Thanksgiving? How are you raised? What's your dish of choice?
Yeah, but my classic turkey. We call it stuffing there, but I've adopted dressing as an acceptable way to say that. But my favorite was always the yams. You can do the casserole with the marshmallow on top. You could do candied yams, which I love. And then I'm with TJ. I'm a big pie guy. I'm not supposed to have it anymore with my not supposed to have gluten these days, but. I'll get a little, there's nothing to me better than like fresh blueberry pie with a
Ooh,
little vanilla ice cream on there.
Look
That's
out.
oh man, that's like the greatest thing in the world to me. So
You can't go wrong with the classics. I'll be having my turkey. I'll be having my cranberry sauce. I'll be having my candy yams. I'm a huge pumpkin pie guy, which I know is not a popular choice in
I'm
my
just turning your card right now, Danny Davis. Just turn it in.
among
I'm
among
sorry,
my
Chastity, that I have to tell him
among
this.
my people as well. But the key to success, if you like pumpkin pie, is to marry a woman from a Southern family who hates pumpkin pie because that means you get a whole pumpkin pie to yourself at Thanksgiving. So
You can
I'll be
have it.
in the
You can
corner by
have it.
myself with my pumpkin pie, just enjoying watching a terrible Cowboys game and getting ready for Saturday. So that's how I'll spend Thanksgiving. But as Ed said, the holidays obviously for family. If you're away from family, be sure to give your loved ones a call and tell them what you're thankful for, and just be appreciative for what you have, because we've been through some times over the years and we've seen what the bottom can be. So you got to be thankful for when the times are good, and I know I definitely am. But I know we're all thankful for some football on Saturday. Statesman.com throughout the week, as we get you warmed up for Texas A&M. Tony Catalina will be doing lots of Aggie reports for us as well. Three of us just jumped on his podcast, so be sure to listen to that if you really want to hear me talk more, which I don't know why you would, but we have that on Statesman.com. Do you want to hear Said talk more on Second Thought Podcast? What's going on this week? Or are you taking the holidays off?
No, we're gonna do a big Aggie podcast, and I'm gonna roll out the bingo cards and bring some old guys on. Kirk Bowles and Olin Buchanan are gonna join me on Second Thought, and they've seen more Aggie games than I care to count, and we'll have a good time on that. That's probably gonna drop it on Wednesday instead of Thursday, Daniel.
Probably smart. So you're stuck in traffic as I will be driving to Corsicana. We'll give that a lesson. Thomas, did you want to add something?
No, but I will
Or
say,
pie.
you give me some more pie, man. I'll take that extra pumpkin. We got a lot of sports on campus today. This week, volleyball returns to Gregory on Wednesday against Tennessee, and then the men's basketball plays Friday night. And I think the women are playing this weekend too, right, Danny?
They're in Florida. Believe the volleyball team will learn their NCAA fate on Sunday. So be sure to tune into that. Once again, it'll be all covered on statesman.com. So be sure to check that out throughout the week. We appreciate you all watching us on the website or YouTube, listening to us wherever you get your podcasts. But yeah, we will see y'all in College Station on Saturday. Enjoy your Thanksgiving and deuces.